Hey, how are you? Welcome back to episode 2 of Your Success at Last podcast. On this episode of the Your Success at Last podcast, we're going to focus on Goal Setting 101. I'm going to share with you a resource where you can get started on or reignite your path to goal and dream achievement. And then finally, I want to give you a couple of quick tips and some great ideas to help you maintain a positive attitude. Now, if you have read one or more of my articles or blog posts, I'm sure you've come away with the notion that I'm big on goal setting. And you'd be very correct in that assumption. I've given any number of speeches and seminars on the topic of goal setting. And during these events, I've noticed my audience can be broken down into basically two groups. Group one, the people in the first group are either new to or haven't yet tried goal setting. Generally, I have their full attention during the speech, especially when I get to that part focusing on goal and dream achievement. And the second group, group two, is made of all those that can tell themselves things like, goal setting, I've tried all that stuff before and it doesn't work for me. Now, in discussion with this group of folks, I found that the majority of them will still agree on the positive impacts of goal setting. And most of them have even gone so far of making out a list of their major goals. However, that's where they stopped. The problem here is that to be a goal setter, and more importantly, to be a goal achiever, you not only have to have a written set of goals for your life, business or personal, but you must also have a written plan and actions towards the achievement of those goals. In the past, um, I've had many requests for information on goal setting and how to do it and goal achievement and how to get there. So those many requests actually have prompted this specific podcast on goal setting and achievement. In other words, you asked for it, you got it. Goal setting 101. First, goal setting really kind of starts with a self-evaluation of sorts. I mean, you need to sit down and honestly respond to yourself to questions like, what do I really want to do with my life? Why am I here? Right? This is the great question of the world. Scholars in psychology have been asking it for decades on. What do I want to do? Why am I here? What do I want to accomplish? What do I want to become? What do I want to have? What do I want to be? What do I want to do? A journal would be a great place to record all these insights. The questions are for you and your life. So go ahead, sit down and answer the questions. What do you want to do with your life? Open your heart, open your mind, write it all out. Sit down and fill out a desired journal, a dream journal, a goal journal, whatever you want to have. If you already have a journal, fill it out. Take time to sit down and fill out a page or two of all the things you'd like to accomplish. If you don't have a journal, break out a piece of paper or get one. Journals are great tools, and we'll speak more about that in another podcast. Fill it in with all the dreams and aspirations and desires that lie deep in the recesses of who you are and who you want to become. Don't hold back. Write every single thing down. I want you to dream like a child the day before his or her birthday, or better yet, if you celebrate this, dream like a child does with anticipation the evening before Christmas. Huh? Remember those days. Dream like anything and everything is possible because really, unless it's illegal, immoral, unethical, or you would have to hurt people to make it happen, then I would highly encourage you to believe it is possible. Number two, now what I want you to do is I want you to decide on what you want in each area of your life. In each area, there's 8 different areas I want you to really think about: personal, family, professional, financial, the money, physical, mental, spiritual. And spiritual isn't always about just God. For those of you that aren't believers of a higher power, spiritual is how you feel inside. It's not just all about the Bible or the Quran or the Torah. There's what you believe is spiritual is what I want you to focus in on that area. And then on social. And I don't want you to be vague either. I mean, if what you want is money focused, so if you want is money, then define how much you want. And then when do you want to have that? Specifics are necessary for you to have a plan. I want you to be clear on what it is you want because being clear causes about 80% of your success. You'll find it very, very difficult to plan for the goal, I want more money. And on top of that, here's where it really gets fun. On top of that, your own mind could work against you. Let me give you an example. Let's say one of your goals is money focus, as we talk about, and your goal is, I want more money. And you write that into your journal, and you believe it's going to happen, because after all, Tracy said so, and I haven't lied to you yet, have I? I haven't. Anyway, a few days later, maybe a friend comes up to you, or you get a check in the mail, and you get $50 that was unexpected. Right? Maybe he or she borrowed $50 from you, and you just kind of written it off. Hey, here you go, no problem, don't worry about it, and they give it back to you. Well, guess what? That's more money. Your brain could and probably would check that goal off as accomplished. You have received unexpected money, and it's more than you had. So you see how being vague can not only make it difficult to build a solid plan, but it can make your own goal-seeking mechanism work against you in the long run. You can, however, build a clear plan on something like, I want to earn $250,000 a year, and I want to earn it within the next 4 years. Very specific, very clear, very time-based. The more specific your goals are, the easier it is to start building a plan to reach it. And if you're reading this and you're thinking, well, I don't know what I want to have to do, I don't know what I want to be, or what I want to have, then that's your first goal, is to figure out what you want to do, what you want to be, or what you want to have. All right? Now, while you're doing all that, I want you to balance your life and your goals, because these are going to drive it. And if you get out of balance, things get crazy. And I've got this great exercise. I'm going to try and walk you through it. Usually I do this with live audiences, because it's a little visual, but I think you can accomplish it. All right? What I want you to do is grab something to write with and a piece of paper. Go on. Go ahead. I'll wait. Go, no, really, go get something to write with. Don't just sit there and not take action. This is where we want to achieve goals. You got to take action. Okay, you got it? Welcome back. Now, on the center of the piece of paper, I want you to draw a big circle. Make it so it takes up about half that piece of paper. Now draw a line. If that circle was a clock, go from 12 o'clock down to 6 o'clock. Draw a line cutting that thing straight in half right through the center. Now, from 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock, go across from left to right. Draw another line, cutting it in half one more time. So basically you have a circle that's been cut into 4 quarters. Now starting at like 2 o'clock, the upper right-hand corner, draw another line going down to the lower left-hand corner, which would be 8 o'clock. And then do the same thing from the upper left-hand, I say corners, right? They're circles, about 10 o'clock all the way down to about 5. So basically what you'll have here is a big circle cut into eighths with these straight lines, okay? And each one of these lines is going to be a spoke, all right? These are going to be the 8 spokes of your life, those 8 parts of your life I just talked about. The topmost spoke is going to be, the first spoke, is going to be personal, and as you rotate clockwise around the circle, the second one's going to be family. The third is going to be professional. And I want you to write these down, so I don't want to go too fast. Remember, the first one, I want you to write personal, okay? And then go to the next one, rotate going around clockwise, so going to your right. The next one, family. Third spoke is professional. Fourth is financial. The fifth, which would be down at the bottom of the circle, is physical. The next one is mental. The one to your left of the circle is spiritual. And the last one remaining is social. So you should have a circle with lines everywhere, all your spokes, and as you go reading from the top, going around in a clockwise fashion: personal, family, professional, financial, physical, mental, spiritual, and social. Right? So all these spokes are labeled. Now each one of these spokes is really kind of a scale. The center, that center point of the circle is 0. The outmost portion of the spoke would be 10. So if you're looking at the personal one that you labeled at the very top there, the center of the spoke would be 0, and the top would be 10. What I want you to do is I want you to rate your personal life on a scale from 1 to 10 and put a dot. So if you think your personal life is a 5, you're going to put a dot right in the middle of that spoke, right in the center of that line. If you think it's a 3, you're going to put a little lower. If you think it's an 8, put a little higher. If you think it's a 9, put it almost on the outside. If you think it's a perfect 10, put it on the very outside of that ring, the very top of that spoke. If you think it's a 0, put it way down there at the bottom. You got it? Now I want you to go along each one of those spokes and do that for each of the spokes of your life. How are you doing in your family life, in your job or your professional life? How are you doing financially? And then financially is not just, hey, do I earn enough money? How much of that money are you keeping? Are you investing it the way you want to, right? Well, how do you define financial? How are you butting yourself up against that? And then so on, all the way around to each one of your areas. How are you doing physically? Are you at the weight you want? Are you exercise as much as you want? Are you eating the way you want? Mental. Are you getting the education you want? Are you as smart as you want? Are you stressed? Too stressed, right? All the mental aspects. Spiritual. How are you feeling spiritually, right? How's your relationship with who you believe in? Whoever that may be, right? I'm not here to judge. I know who I believe in, and I hold that to myself. Social. How are you doing socially? Going out and meeting folks, going out and doing things, because we are social people, right? Now, starting back, you got all your dots put in the places 1 through 10, all the way around for everything: personal, family, professional, financial, physical, mental, spiritual, and social. Now, let's go back to that personal spoke. Now, the dot, I want you to put your pen or pencil on the dot where you placed it on the spoke for personal. Now look over to the dot where you placed on the spoke for family and draw a line that connects those two. And then connect from family to professional, connect the dots. From professional to financial, connect the dots. From financial to physical, connect the dots. From physical to mental, connect the dots. From mental to spiritual, connect the dots. From spiritual to social, connect the dots. And finally, from social to personal, connect the dots. And the dots are, again, the ranking from 1 to 10. So look at that quote-unquote circle that you drew. Did you draw a perfect circle? If you had ones all the way around, it's still a perfect circle. Your life's in balance. If you have a 1, then an 8, and a 7, and a 10, and then a 5, and a 4, and a 3, and a 8, and a 10, you'll see flat spots. So as you're looking, as you connected the dots, do your dots form a smooth circle, or do you have flat spots? Do you have high ranks in some areas and low in others? I want you to make sure your goals help you balance out your life so that you can stop hitting all those flat spots as you turn your wheel of life. It's really hard, and we all know it takes a lot of extra effort to push your wheel past those flat spots. Hey, wherever it's nice and rounded, it's all easy going. But as soon as you hit those bumps along your path to success, it gets hard. All right? So instead of creating unbalance, I want you to make sure your goals help you creating a balanced wheel so you can just keep cruising through with minimal bumps along your road to success. All right. So that hopefully helps you out, because what I find is a lot of people, they're going through their goal setting process and they're so focused on one aspect because that's where they're hurting right now, and it might be an actual area where they're doing really well. They just need some goals to help them keep things going well, right? Where they're really hurting is maybe their social life, because they're so focused on their job and their family, their social life is hurting. Or they're so focused on their physical aspect that their spiritual is hurting. Or they're so focused on their professional life that their mental and their family life is hurting. So I want you to keep a nice balanced circle going on there. Avoid all those bumps. You're going to have them. Don't get me wrong. There's going to be times when you need to focus one area to the detriment of others. But overall, I want you to keep a nice smooth circle. All right, now, write down your goals. And I say this, I don't want you to type them out on a computer. Not at first, anyway. I want you to sit down and print them out. Like I said, journals are a great place to do this. Write them out specifically and write them out in measurable terms. This moves them from a desire, a wish, or an intangible dream to a physical item on a piece of paper, something you can see, you can touch, you can relate to. It takes a thought in your mind and creates it physically from the tip of your pen. All right? Now what I want you to do is now that you know what you want, next you need to identify what skills and what knowledge you're going to require in order to accomplish that goal. I mean, ask yourself, what knowledge are you going to need to gain in order to speed up the successful accomplishment of your goal? Or just the accomplishment, maybe not to speed it up, just to get you past the barrier. Ask yourself, what skills are you going to need to make the greatest positive impact on reaching that goal? If there's at least one skill or one piece of knowledge that is holding you back, I guarantee you there's at least one. Otherwise, you'd already be there. You would have already accomplished goal. If you have all the skills and have all the knowledge and are taking all the actions, you'd already have accomplished the goal. So there's something holding you back. I want you to identify what it is and then go out there and get it. If you're not able to figure it out for yourself, then ask someone. Ask a spouse, ask your friend, your boss, a mentor, or any other person that you believe would know. By the way, the ones that would know are the ones who have already accomplished it. Yeah? All right? If they haven't accomplished what you're seeking to accomplish, please, please be very, very careful in giving an ear to those that haven't done it. All right? They, they may want to help, and they may have well-intentioned meanings behind their advice, but they could be giving you bad advice. Please be careful in seeking advice for those that haven't accomplished what you're going to try and accomplish. Look, I can't give people advice on being a millionaire. Not a millionaire yet, right? But trust me, I'm asking those that are. All right? So now, there are some things that you can do alone. However, if you're wanting to achieve significant goals and make significant advances in your life, you're going to need some help. So I want you to sit down and list all the people, groups, and organizations that you are going to need to interact with in order to reach the goal that you dream, desire, and deserve. Write them all down and prioritize them. Now, as you're going through this process, I want you to consider all the ways that you can be of assistance to them. Why? Well, the main reason is because everyone's favorite radio station is WIIFM. What's in it for me? So if you're able to think of and know in advance what you can do this to assist them, and then go out and do it, it's going to have far-reaching results on getting their assistance in your goal achievement, more so than just asking. Now, you'll note that I say to do it in advance of asking. This is going to show that you're sincere. And also, what's going to come into play here is the law of compensation. If you've already done it, then the law of compensation comes into play, and generally, they're going to want to help you in return. If they refuse your help, even though you've already assisted them, then perhaps they're not the right source of assistance for you. Because, after all, you do want to build your success upon an ethical foundation, correct? I mean, there are those that will take and take and take and not give anything back. You probably don't want to be associated with them, nor do I want you to become one of them. All right? Don't become jaded. I want you to think of some win-win negotiations. You help them, and in return, they help you. And if they never help you, you still feel good about helping them. Now, remember, on the words of Zig Ziglar, as he was reminded in a number of presentations I've heard and been privy to live, you can have everything you want if you just help enough others get what they want. Right? Wise words from a wise man. Now, as well as those that can help you, I would suggest you list out all those that could hinder you. Forewarned is forearmed. So I want you to think about both sides of the coin. Next, obstacles. We're going to encounter them. We all have them. We've all gone through them. There's probably some right in front of you right now. We've all encountered them, and you're going to continue to encounter them during all of your attempts to reach any goal of worth. If there are no obstacles along the way, then everyone would have already accomplished their goals, yourself included. So what I want you to do is I want you to list all the obstacles, the barriers, and the impediments that now stand between you and where you're trying to get, what you're trying to accomplish, who you're trying to become. Think about all the reasons why you're not there right now. I want you to write them all down and be honest. Because remember, sometimes you are your worst obstacle. Right? This will allow you to find the bottleneck in your success. Once you're aware of what it is that's holding you back, then you can apply all your resources, which you've listed above, right, towards removing any of those obstacles out of your way. More often than not, the removal of a single primary blockage will uproot and resolve many of the smaller ones that you'll end up listing as well. So this can really help you make quantum leaps toward reaching any goal. Now, doing a lot of work here, but it's all worth it, right? It's your life you're trying to accomplish. Now, you have this valuable collection of information. I need to map it all out and create a plan and utilizing it to accomplish your goal. Successful businessmen, after all, do not set, and businesswomen, don't get me wrong, ladies, love you too, do not set out on a course of action without a plan. Heck, most people won't even go out on vacation without some planning, knowing where they're going, knowing where they're staying, how much money they're going to bring, how much money they want to spend, what's their budget. Most don't even get married without hours and hours. And I think if I read one point, it was over 110 hours of planning. Think about that. Let's think about that for a second. These days, so many will spend that 110 hours or more of planning a wedding, yet they spend no time planning the entire rest of that married life. How sad, right? That's why you're sitting here right now. That's why you're listening to this. So I'm going to take you through this process. You can change that in your life. You can lay out all the key points that you've put together thus far and create this plan of attack, this plan of accomplishment. This plan can start with the steps to gain you the knowledge and the skills that you need. Steps to get you in contact with the people and organizations whose help you're going to need along the way. Right? To create some ideas of how you're going to help them first. Lay out all those steps that you know you need to take to reach your goal. Organize them priority, and then sequence them. As you go through this process, you're going to feel this motivation building up inside you. Heck, I'm just talking about it and I'm getting jazzed, right? You can probably hear it in my voice. You'll be motivated to take actions towards the first step on your plan. Completing that first step is going to further fire up your motivation to take the next step. You accomplish that one's going to fuel your motivation even more for the next step, and so on and so on. You feeling the pattern here? I hope so. All right. Now, you have a plan. What you need to do is set deadlines, because a goal is really nothing more than a dream with an achieve by date. Setting a deadline is going to develop and intensify your desire to attain the goals. Now, I don't want you to scare yourself with large, big, omnipotent goals. And I also don't want you to underestimate how long it's going to take to accomplish them. Instead, take a large goal and break it down to much smaller milestones. Right? You want to learn how to drive? What's the first step? What's the next step? What's the next step? You want to become CEO of an organization? What's first step one? What's step two? Maybe start as the CEO and start working backwards. What do you need to learn? What do you need to do? Break it down to smaller milestones. These milestones can act like a forcing system for your unconscious mind. They will motivate and drive you towards the goal every step of the way. Having deadlines for your goals will keep them on your mind, making you more conscious to situations and people that are going to come in and out of your life that can aid you along your path of success. Set your deadlines as realistically as possible. I'm going to say that again. Set your deadlines as realistically as possible. Do not over or underestimate, and I want you to be completely honest with yourself. If you can't get it done in a month, don't say you're going to get it done in a month. If it's going to take you 3 months, be honest. Say it's going to take me 3 months. It's going to take you 3 years. Say that too. Because you know what? You could always reset the deadline. But if you're honest with yourself in the first place, you're not going to demotivate yourself right out of the gate. The key point I want to drive here is that you must have a deadline to shoot for. A goal without a deadline is just a dream. And like dreams, they'll soon be gone in the mental vapor if they're not focused on. Realistic deadlines create and drive that focus. Okay, now, you have a plan. You even have some realistic deadlines. Now what? What? What do you think? Well, as I mentioned earlier in the podcast, most will agree on the positive impacts that goal setting have. Most of them have even gone so far as listing out their major goals. Told you that as well. However, like I said, this is where a lot of them stopped. Here's where I want you to be different. Here's where you are going to act differently and push to succeed in your goal achievement. The key word is act. Take action on your plan. Do not procrastinate. The clock is tick-tock, tick-tock, ticking to your deadline. It's inching closer and closer with each passing second. All right? I want you to do something each and every day towards the accomplishment of your goals. Don't stop. Every day, do something. Small, big. You want to write a book? Write a paragraph a day. I don't care. Write 10 pages a day. But do something. I want you to work up all your gusto with the first step of your plan until it's either completed or until you can make no further progress on it. Then move to the next step. Come back to those incompleted previous steps as soon as you're able to move them forward to completion. Keep moving. Keep working. Keep taking your actions every single day. Do not stop. Everyone who has ever had to push a car can really relate to this. If you ever had to run out of gas and didn't want to walk, so you decided to push the car for whatever reason, or you had to pop the clutch to get the car going again, it takes so much straining and effort to get the car moving. But once it's moving, unless you're on a hill, it's a lot easier. Don't get me wrong, it still takes effort. Right? Goal setting still takes effort. But if you decide, oh my God, I'm so tired, I'm going to stop here. Let's take a little break. Whew. All right, now I'm good. And you turn on and you go to start pushing again. Guess what? You're more tired than the first time you started pushing, and it's even harder. Take consistent daily action will not only move you more quickly towards your goals, but it will also reinforce in your subconscious mind that you can and you will attain every goal you're striving for. And it's going to give you such a positive mental attitude towards it. Two additional things that you can do that will steel your resolve towards goal accomplishment are to visualize your goal and resolve never, never to give up. I want you to visualize your goals continually, or at least as often as possible during your waking moments. Your subconscious mind, believe it or not, does not differentiate between that which you visualize and what's really going on. So if you visualize your goal is already attained, take a moment to visualize it in your mind's eye. See it in every detail possible. Smell it. You want the new home? Walk into the front door of the home. Imagine the foyer. See the lighting hanging down. See the steps as they go up to your left, right, to the landing up on the top. And there's the master bedroom up on the left. And there's your new office in the center off the landing. Whatever it is you want, I want you to seriously, if it's a home, walk through the home. Visualize it. Smell the wood grain of the railing as you walk up the stairs. View it in your mind's eye in every detail possible. Feel the pride, the joy, and the fulfillment that comes with reaching that significant goal. Visualization is also going to help make you aware of more situations and resources in your life that you may not realize are there right now. Ones that you're going to need to reach your goal. All right, and then finally, as I mentioned, number 2 is resolve never to give up on your quest to reach your goal. Attack it with this dogged determination. I want you to let the words of Gene Kranz, who is the Capcom commander of Apollo 13, I wanted these words to ring in your ears. Failure is not an option. When you encounter barriers and obstacles, do not ask yourself, what will happen if or when I fail? Instead, think positive. Then plan an action plan. Create an action plan. Ask yourself, how do I get over? How do I get around or through this barrier and reach my goal? Because failure is not an option. I mean, everyone has goals. I have them. You have them. Even a child has them. These goals can be keeping your job, getting a promotion, and the child's goals could be passing the test, getting the grade they desired in school, getting that new toy they saw on television, or just showing mommy and daddy how much they love them. The difference between these goals and the goals of top achievers is focus. Peak achievers go through the process similar to the one I just laid out, right? And they focus their actions on what they want to have, what they want to be, and what they want to do. They design their goals with a mission, and this mission is success. Follow the process I just laid out right here, and you too can rise to your desired level of success. I don't care what that desired level is. If you just want to be the greatest mom in the world, or if you want to be President of the United States, or CEO of a Fortune 10 company, it's up to you. What do you want to do? Rise to your desired level of success and be the ones that others are watching in awe. If you have any questions, comments, and concerns, please feel free to email me at podcast@successatlas.com. Now, for the bonus tip and the resource I promised you, I want to build off today's podcast on the bonus tip. Now, sometimes these bonus tips will align with the key segment we just went through on the podcast. Other times, they'll be totally unrelated. I'll come across something, and I just want to share it with you that I think will help you along your success atlas, your plan to success. Today's bonus tip is plan your week and day, and then remember things don't always go as you plan. Like goal setting, having a clear plan to your day and to your week is going to go a long way to helping you not only achieve your goals, as we've been talking about this whole time, but also to maintain a positive attitude. By knowing what it is you want to accomplish, you're going to be able to focus on the important life priorities, and that's going to enable you to smooth out your wheel of life. This kind of sounds like goal setting 101, just on a smaller scale, doesn't it? Maybe there's a reason for that. A weekly plan, you see, is going to allow you to match your long-term goals with your weekly accomplishments. And then your daily plan is going to allow you to break your weekly goals down to daily activities and begin taking action onto their accomplishment. Just like the big goal, down to the smaller goal, down to daily tasks. I want you to break it all the way down to these bite-sized little nuggets. That way it doesn't seem like you're eating the whole elephant at once. You're taking it one bite at a time. Now, on top of that, I want you to remember things are not going to always go as planned. All right? This is where a lot of people stumble and fall and never get back up again. dusting themselves off while they're still sitting sometimes, but they don't get up. Even the best laid plans get derailed. Be warned that if you planned and expected everything in your life is going to go exactly as planned, you will be quickly disappointed, even disheartened. You might even become one of those folks in the second group I mentioned earlier when I was giving goal setting presentations. One of those ones that go, that goal setting stuff doesn't work. I've tried it before. One of the keys to maintaining a positive attitude is to realize that things will go wrong. If you expect that they will, can, and do go wrong, and perhaps you even do some pre-planning, as I mentioned earlier, for those things that could go wrong, then you're not going to be phased when they do go wrong. When your plans do get derailed, you won't be like, oh my God, not again. You'll be like, all right, I planned for that. Let's try this. This is going to do wonders for keeping your positive attitude. Imagine how charged you're going to feel that when your plans get a little bit derailed and it just happens to be one of the possibilities that you planned for. You say, well, see, if I try this, this could happen, and that does happen, and you already have a plan to react to it. Guess how cool you're going to feel, right? That's going to be a boost of motivation you probably have only experienced a couple of times in your life. So here's what I want to do. I want to give you a little extra reward. As a listener of this podcast, if you'd like a great set of goal-setting forms that will guide you through this whole goal-setting process and beyond even what I've just laid out here, and even help you with your daily goals and your task management that I mentioned here in your little extra tip, here's what you can do. Go to http://yoursuccessatLast.com/goalforms. Goal forms, plural, GOALFORMS. Go in there, and I'll give you the whole goal-setting form systems I designed to help you reach the goals that you dream, desire, and deserve. Again, that's yoursuccessatLast.com/goalforms. One word, GOALFORMS. And I'll be happy to give those to you as my gift for being a listener. Until next week, thanks for listening to Your Success at Last podcast. Think successfully and take action.